Hey guys, today I'm going to be making 8 more FNAF tutorials because many of you requested that I do more. In these tutorials I'm going to be fixing some stuff from the old tutorials with randomizing the AI points, and we're also going to be adding mechanics from the various FNAF games like the puppet mechanic and the phantoms from FNAF 3. If you enjoyed this tutorial and the other content on my channel like me making my games, please like and subscribe because it will make me happy. Thank you. So, in this first episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be upgrading the AI of the animatronics. We're going to be making them have the ability to go to random points because right now they go on a fixed path. And in FNAF 1, most of the animatronic, well, Bonnie, he can go into either the hallway to the corner or the hallway to the closet to the corner. We're going to be adding that functionality. We're also going to be making it so there is no movement and it just teleports from one position to the other. Let's start with that. So go find your animatronic in the hierarchy and find the animatronic system script. Now double click on it and open up Visual Studio. When you're inside the animatronic script, over here, somewhere here, we have a list of targets. These are all game objects. Let me find here, points. These are all game objects with the script of destination points. Now, inside this destination points, we had set up this value of called points. These all go back to, this is in the animatronic array over here. With targets, you have point 1 at element 0, point 2 at element 1, point 3 at 2, 4 at 3. So 0 is point 1. Over here in the points, you have point 1 points, it leads to point 1, which is point 2. Point 2 leads to 0 and 2, so it can either go back to the stage or go back here. So what I'm going to be doing, so this is, I think, this has its points are these ones, yep. So we are going to be having it, instead of going from point 1 to point 2 to point 3, it will access the script, find its list, its array of points, and will see, oh, he has one element. So let's go to that one. 4.2. Oh, here it can go to 2 positions. Let's go to either 0 or 2. So in the script, we're going to scroll down and find the position where here. Current target plus equals 1. This is after there's the distance check. Over here it checks if it's at the door. If the door is open, it will go back to the start. Wait. If the door is open, if the door is open, it will go to the last point inside its array, which is the office. Else it will go to the first target, or you can make it go back to the stage. I just added one. Yeah. Over here, you have the debug.log you died. Over here is where you will then play your jump scare. Over here. See? Targets are current get component dot is office. If you haven't started the jump scare, start the jump scare. And this is if it's not at the office, if it's not at the door, so it will go to the next point. But now instead of having this current target plus equals 1 and then making sure to reset to 0 if it's bigger than 1, what we're going to be doing is, let's get the targets dot current target, wait, in brackets current target dot get component, no, not get hash code, dot get component. Make sure that the G and the C are capitalized because many people had these issues where they would have problems with the capitalization. Now you want the point script? Nope, the target script. No, the destination script. Yeah, destination point. That's the name of the script. And make sure to add these brackets because you need the brackets. Now we're going to hold, we're going to make a variable. So write var, and we're going to be calling it target point. So target point equals targets, open square brackets, current target, close square brackets, dot get component destination points. Now, when we go to target points, dot points, wait, open up the script. So I'm going to go over here, destination points, right click, go to definition. Now this will take me to the script. Over here we have serialize field private int points. You want to make that public. So go back to the animatronic system and now get the points. So now you have access to the array. What we want to do is, instead of having current target plus equals 1, so copy paste, so cut this by clicking Ctrl X, go to current target, hit current target equals, not plus equals, target.points. But now we're going to use randomization. And like over here, how we write random.range. The minimum value will be 0 because our list started 0 because we want to go through all the points. Target.points.length. Now this is exclusive, so since the length is, so if we have 2 points, the length is going to be 2, but the instances are going to be 0 and 1. So since this is exclusive, we don't need to worry with it trying to get a value that's not inside the list. But now this is going to give us a number from 0 to the length. You want to get the number inside the points. So we're going to write target point dot points outside of the random.range, put square brackets around the random.range 0 target points.points.length, and like this now it will give as a current target whatever point is given the value for the target points. So let's say you have 2 points in here. It picks a number between 0 and 1, since it's going to have 2, but 2 is exclusive. And let's say it has 1. Now in the target points, let's check the current point, let's say this one. At element 1, it has 2. That 2 now points to the target. So now we have target.points.points, and it gives us the current point that it wants us to go. Now you can, if you want, you can remove this because we don't need it. So now it will pick a random, and if I hit play after it saves, it will go to a random point when a random point option is given. So let's hit play. I'm going to adjust the difficulty, the aggression of the animatronics, so I can make it move faster. 91. This is phone guy, hey, blah 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 blah. Hey, if you go to blah, this blah, blah, animatronic, no, here, monster, it's in this point. We have the cooldown timer, his minimum chance to move is 1, threshold to pass is 3. So let's just make it 20. No, threshold, yep, okay. Here. And he's moving to the next point. And his current point is 1, so he's going over here. Now from over here, he can either choose to move to the door or the stage. And he chose to go back to the stage. So now we know that it's working. If you notice that it's not going from one place to another, then that's where you would want to change it. So let's leave. And now we're going to make it so if you don't want to use this system where he walks from the target to the next, and you want him to teleport, we're going to do that now. Add a bool. So write serialize field private bool is teleport. The private in serialize field private bool is teleport means that other scripts can't access it. The serialize field makes it visible in the inspector because private variables usually do not show up in the inspector, but we want to set this in the inspector. So is teleport. So with the is teleport, we're going to work down here with the NMA dot destination equals targets current targets dot transform position. We're going to have if is teleport. Over here, we're going to be doing transform dot position equals targets current targets dot transform dot position. Else NMA dot destination. And For this version, you don't need to give it a nav mesh agent or have a nav mesh surface, so it's like much easier to work with. But I'm going to keep it. Wait, no. And now I'm going to set its teleport to true. True is shown with the check mark, and I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to see if he moves. I'll also set his threshold to pass to 20, because the bigger the threshold, the more likely he
This
is to
is
move.
phone
So
guy. Hey,
put it
blah blah blah
to
blah.
20, and boom, he's now over here. You may want to adjust the targets now so he looks normal, because before, and now he's going to move again, or not. Okay, so I was doing some testing, and we need to fix something before we do the test. So if we're going to be teleporting, we cannot have the anime enabled. So do anime.enabled equals false if it has, because I was having this big issue where it would teleport over here and then it would move. I was like, why isn't it moving? It was because it's like positioning was still over here because it hadn't walked over here. So then the distance check was like a gap of 40. So now it should teleport from
This
one
is
position
phone
to the
guy.
next. There,
Hey, blah
then
blah
the
blah
door.
blah.
Oh, it went back because we have the random locations. Now it's back to the corner. Now it's the door. And we died. Okay, so now that we have those two things working, some of you have asked to make, as I mentioned in the intro, to make some mechanics from different animatronics. We'll get into those in the other episodes, but for this episode, since we're doing out of FNAF 1 related stuff, we're going to start with our first animatronic mechanic, which is the Golden Freddy mechanic from FNAF 1. So we're going to set up this new, in the monster script, we're going to set up a new system. So we're going to make this is going to be something new. So private, because we don't need to access this in the inspector. Enum. Now an enum is like a list with words and stuff that we can use like a bool. I'll explain when we start using them. I'm going to name it animatronic type. Now, open up curly brackets. We're going to have our animatronic type default. We're also going to have one be Golden Freddy. Now you can rename this to whatever you want. You can make it show on camera and stuff like that. So the default is going to be using this system where it teleports, it goes from one position to another. That's good, but it's not exactly what we want. So we're going to cut this. We're going to do if, wait, uncut it first. Because right now this is just an enum. Now we need a serialized field, private, animatronic type. So like this we animatronic type. Like this we have basically made our own variable type and we're going to be calling it type. Now if type is equal to animatronic type dot default, we're going to be using the system. Here. And like this, if the animatronic type is default, it will do the system. However, we want for our Golden Freddy animatronic type that if you put down the camera, you run a random check, and it will appear in front of you, and if you don't go up, you will die. So we're going to have a new public void camera down. Now, we're going to do if type equals Golden Freddy, and animatronic type dot Golden Freddy. We want to do a random check, so var spawn check equals random dot range, and you might want to check this. I'm going to make it an int check to be sure. We're going to have random dot range, let's say 0 to 1001 since it's exclusive. So like this we have no wait, if you do it 0 to 1000, it's 1 in 1000. It will, so yeah, it will get a number from 0 to 999, which is basically 1000 numbers. Now if spawn check is equals to 0, then this is where this is when we're going to be spawning the animatronic, or in, you know, so we're going to do transform dot position equals to targets 0. The only target we're going to be having is going to be dot position dot 0 dot transform dot position. We're only going to be having one target, being the office. So, and else it will just remain here. And we also need a bool for him. If you want, you can also make variables for the check. I'm going to be making a bool, and it's going to be serialized field private has spawned. Oh, private bool. Bool. Boo. Ah, private bool. Okay, so private bool has spawned. Now, in the update function, we're going to go here, else if type equals Golden Freddy. Right now, we're going to have a lot of coding, and then once we get the whole code done, we can test it out. Now, if has spawned, and we need to make has spawned true in here, so has spawned equals true. We want to have a timer, so let's have serialize field private float kill timer, and we also want one to be kill time. So this will be the timer ticking down. This is going to be to reset it when he spawns. So kill timer minus equals time dot delta time. And if, you know, if he's down, no, if he's dead, he will die. So over here, we also want to copy this. If started jump scare is not when, wait, okay, so if kill timer is smaller or equal to 0, we want to copy paste this part over here. So if not started jump scare, like that. And then over here we'll have has spawned and kill timer equals kill time. We also want a variable over here. Let's have if has spawned else. So if he's not spawned, you check to spawn him. Rename this to camera toggle. It's best if we rename it camera toggle, so when it goes up or down, if it's spawned and you're setting it up, you're going to want to remove him. So has spawned equals false, and we're going to put our transform.position is equal to transform.position minus new vector tree 0, 0, 100. Like this, he'll just be underneath the map somewhere. And like this, he will spawn. But now we need to go in the camera system. Now over here we have if input, no, not horizontal, here, show camera. This is called when, I think, yeah, you get the input here. This is very important. We wanted that when you hit the open cameras button, you also need to loop through. So find objects by type of animatronic system. You need find objects of type, not by type. And we're going to hold this as animatronics equals var animatronics equals find objects of type animatronic systems. Now we're going to have a for loop for int I equals 0. I is smaller or equal to animatronics dot length I plus plus. We want it to be I smaller than animatronics dot length because we don't want it to be also when they're equal. So animatronics I dot type. No, we just do dot camera toggle here. Animatronics I dot camera toggle here. And like this, every time you're going to open or close your camera, it's going to tell the animatronic, hey, I opened up the camera. For testing purposes, I'm going to set this to 5. So we have a 1 in 4 chance that when, and I'm also going to be adding a duplicate of the monster here. Okay, and here. So, no, where's his materials? Let me just make a new material, gold. So he'll be the golden scarecrow. I want to, yeah, something like that. Metallic, smooth here. So we can tell that it's him. Okay. There, we have our golden scarecrow animatronic. So we're going to set the target to be just 0.4, and we're going to have our type be Golden Freddy. We're going to have our kill time going to be 5 seconds, so we have 5 seconds to react. So let's hit play. And we died instantly. Okay. Okay. Something happened. Cause okay, if has spawned. This has to be in the if has spawned. Cause okay. That scared me. I'm not going to lie. So if it's spawned, we'll do all the checks and all. Also, do set his position underneath the map. I'm just putting it there because why not? So, space, nothing, 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 space. No, wait, it is somewhere. Oh, there it is. Ooh, and boom, he's gone. And the normal guy killed me. Now, I just noticed that it's also triggering the animatronic system. It will trigger the Golden Freddy to possibly spawn when you put up the camera. If you don't want that, separate it to be camera up and camera down. And then over here, if camera's open, do the camera up, camera down, like this. And I'm going to check if the timer actually works now. So let's open up the camera. Hopefully he spawns. And night 1. He hasn't spawned yet. He hasn't spawned yet. He hasn't spawned yet. And he has spawned. And he killed us after 5 seconds. That's good. The last thing I want to mention is this is just a typo from my side. Over here, threshold to boss. Hit F2 to rename, and it also renames all instances of it, and just add an H because it's threshold. Over here, we also need an H because No, it's like this, I think. Threshold. Or is it like this threshold? No, it's like this threshold to pass. Okay. So for this first episode, that's going to be it. We're going to have our Golden Freddy teleporting and going to random spots. So thanks for watching this first video, and now I'll have a card, a pop-up to go to the next part. Bye!